Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with another Total War Warhammer video. Today we'll be talking about some already introduced factions into the Total War Warhammer series and some that may come in the future in the form of sub-factions. This is a way that Creative Assembly could add loads of different ways of replayability for different races and factions. Before we begin today's video, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who took part in our recent giveaway for the Warden and the Paunch. I'll be contacting the winner within due time today, and it was absolutely amazing to do. As you guys are aware, the channel's completely self-funded by me, but I want to find new ways for me to be able to give back to you guys, because honestly, this channel growth is all thanks to you guys. So maybe I'll start implementing monthly giveaways or something. Would that be kind of cool? Let me know your thoughts, but without wasting any more time, let's get on with today's video. The Total War Warhammer series has an absolutely massive amount of different playable races and factions, with more to come with Total War Warhammer 3, of course. While all these races are quite unique with their own units, playstyle and so on, there are certain factions within these races that are even more so, as they borrow elements such as units, technology and so on from other races. These are normally referred to as sub-factions, and we already have a few of them in the Total War Warhammer series. Some examples of this are as follows. Firstly, we have Arkan the Black, a Tomb King faction who also has access to some Vampire Counts units, and Aranessa Saltspite, a Vampire Coast faction which has access to its own unique units in the form of Sartosan Pirates. Now, while these additions might not actually look like much, it presents some unique playability within these factions' respective races, so people might be more inclined to play those races once again, especially if there's something unique to it. Now, there are endless possibilities of what factions could be turned into sub-factions, but a few stand out more than others. Now please bear in mind that I'll be referring to factions already implemented into the game, as while there's still many possible sub-factions that could be implemented, we're still not 100% sure of what's going to be added in Total War Warhammer 3 or what remains in the last few DLCs for Total War Warhammer 2. But with that being said, we do have a few factions already. The first possible sub-faction could be that of Vlad von Carstein. He is a vampire count and his armies are normally filled with the undead, but it is known in the lore that he made use of a lot of human servants. And yeah, we do have access to some human servants in the form of the Bloodlines vampires, which you can get access to crossbowmen and handgunners, but Vlad should have access to more, not just the crossbows and handgunners, but also, say for example, the swordsmen, the spearmen and the halberdiers. Something very basic, they don't have to be top tier units. Instead, this would show that Vlad still has some sort of sway over the living of Sylvania. It's lore friendly and it would also give you a different type of playstyle. You could make use of your undead and your humans at the same time, changing your loadout when specifically needed. Another perfect example of this would also be Morathi. We covered her in a faction focus video before, but I'll cover her in brief. She leads a cult known as the Cult of Pleasure, which back in the day in 6th edition, she didn't have access to the complete Dark Elf roster. Instead, she had a mixed roster of Dark Elves and Warriors of Chaos, with some minor touches of Demons of Chaos, specifically those of Sonesh. So this was a really interesting loadout, and I'm not saying it should be carbon copied because it would be way too drastic of a change, but some basic marauders, maybe the very basic standard marauders with the ones with additional hand weapons too, some demonettes and maybe some form of mounted warrior too. Nothing too big and drastic, but it would start to make more sense as to why Morathi spreads chaos corruption, and you can have a bit of a different feel, especially since every single Dark Elf faction tends to play the same way. These are just two examples, but there are a few more. The main reason I want to see more sub-factions being implemented is rather simple. If more sub-factions are made playable, which they can be considered hybrids, not only does it give you a new style of playability for these races, it'll give you a bigger reason to play these races more than once, but also seeing more hybrid factions being implemented into the game might give Creative Assembly an incentive to create the Dogs of War as a playable faction, seeing as they can be considered the biggest hybrid faction of them all. Sub-factions such as these could test out the waters for the possibility of the Dogs of War being added in, as they more or less would work in the same way. Hybrid factions can be broken, so they'd have to be balanced in a certain way, so this is the perfect way to give it a test. So far, the Vampire Coast and the Tomb King hybrid factions or sub-factions have worked out very well. They're quite balanced and they don't really break the game. Though mind you, the Vampire Coast one is almost non-existent. That being said, the inclusion of sub-factions itself would be very well welcome, considering that it would change everything up a little bit. Some factions that get destroyed very on early game might survive a little bit longer. Yes, Morathi's generally fine, but that's because of the chaos corruption, but Vlad, I don't know, he doesn't really last too long on campaigns for me. There are honestly many different ways that this could be done, but I want to find out what you guys think, and I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But here I want to change it up a bit. My questions to you are as follows. Firstly, what do you think about the inclusion of new sub-factions or the overhaul of existing factions that need sub-factions to it? Whether this is Vlad, Morathi, or any other character. And secondly, what type of units would you see implemented into these sub-factions? I'm rather curious to see what you guys think. Now bear in mind, it can't be all late game units and so on, because that would be a bit too OP. But I'm rather curious to see what you guys think, so I'm looking forward to your comments. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below, we have various different social media links such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord, where you can get in contact with the Great Book team, talk to us about Total War, Warhammer, or just anything, really. Also in the description section below is an affiliate link with Element Games where you could get loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Purchasing using this link and also using our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons, your support means the world to us. Honestly, it's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A special thank you to our patrons Gibraltar LUSC and Ryan Bertsche for subscribing to us at our Fane level. Honestly, you guys are super cool. And a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. Honestly, the channel's been growing a lot lately, and it's all thanks to you guys. Without you, the Great Book would be nothing. We're trying to implement more videos into the channel soon, but we're getting stuff done outside of YouTube at the moment, just like artwork and so on for the channel. It's just taking a little while to get everything to look to a standard that we feel is cool. Honestly, guys, thank you so much for all the support lately. It's been amazing. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.